OT for officers, etc., to prevent, minimize this over publicized retail theft.
Yeah.
In reach. We're going to do it. We're going to get the remaining Hamas terrorist battalions in Rafah, which is the last bastion, but we're going to do it. And in this, I agree with the Americans. We're going to do it while providing safe passage for the civilian population so they can leave.
You've directed the Israeli Defense Forces to evacuate Rafah in advance of this ground invasion. There's an estimated 1.4 million people in that area right now. And as the German foreign minister said, right. They can't just disappear. Where are they supposed to go?
No, well, the areas that we've cleared north of Rafah are plenty of areas there, but we are working out a detailed plan to do so. And that's what we've done up to now. We're not cavalier about this. This is part of our war effort to get civilians out of harm's way. It's part of Hamas's effort to keep them in harm's way. But we've so far succeeded, and we're going to succeed again. Those who say that under no circumstances should we enter Rafah are basically saying, lose the war, keep Hamas there. Victory is within reach. We're going to do it. We're going to get the remaining Hamas terrorist battalions in Rafah, which is the last bastion, but we're going to do it. And in this, I agree with the Americans. We're going to do it while providing safe passage for the civilian population so they can leave.
You've directed the Israeli Defense Forces to evacuate Rafah in advance of this ground invasion. There's an estimated 1.4 million people in that area right now.
1.4 million people. Like, just the logistics related to moving that many people is like...
I know. It's insane.
So it says, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu tells John Karl that Israel is working out a detailed plan to evacuate Palestinian civilians from Rafah before a planned ground invasion. We're going to get the remaining Hamas terrorist battalions in Rafah, which is the last bastion. We're going to do it while providing safe passage for the civilian population so they can leave. The interview airs Sunday.
Dude, that would be like trying to evacuate El Paso.
A complete nightmare, you know.
No, El Paso, or excuse me, San Antonio. San Antonio has 1.5 million people.
Yeah.
Phoenix, Arizona. There we go. Middle of a desert. We'll call it that. I know it's not like desert, but 1.6 million people in Phoenix, Arizona. Imagine the logistics of evacuating Phoenix, Arizona.
It will be a nightmare. And then you got wartime conditions, and then you got destroyed infrastructure, you know.
Exactly.
I don't know. And then, you know, you also got, you know, you're going to have loss of life on the Israeli side related to this ground.
And you're going to have at least 10 to 20% of those people willing to fight rather than leave.
Yeah. So
that's not just Hamas.
Yeah. So even on the Israeli side, it's going to be bad.
This is, everyone's been talking about how brutal this war is. I've been saying, no, this is, you can't tell someone how to react to a genocide. Yeah. It's not over yet. This is when it gets brutal.
Yeah, this is the end game for Netanyahu.
Well, I'm not even talking about him. You got to understand the stakes on both sides of this are my people or your people. It is Hamas has to go. If they leave them alone, if they stop, they will come back. Their entire creed is based on the destruction of the Jewish state and of Israel. And it's not the Palestinian people, it is Hamas that is the problem.
Let me read some comments. It says, People wake up this a planned mission to take land from Palestinians. This isn't about no imaginary terrorists. Another one, it says, We're witnessing exactly what the Germans did to the Jews. Is this some sort of retribution? Another one says, that's literally called ethnic cleansing. Let's read some more. It says, the Palestinians have never had safe passage to anywhere. Another one, it says, why did he kill 30K people then? Another one, it says, let our people go. Release all hostages now. Let's see, a couple more. Where are they supposed to go? Another one that says, so this guy should be charged for war crimes. It's hard for me to read these comments when they have so many typos.
You do know that Hamas had the chance to end this about a month ago. Well, not a couple of weeks ago. They told them, release all the hostages.
Yeah,
and
I read.
And they refused to do it.
It was Netanyahu who said it would be giving the war away to them, because they said ceasefire for 3 months or something like that, and we'll give back all the hostages, and you guys give some of the detained Palestinian people in Israel in return. And Netanyahu said no.
No, Hamas said no.
Multiple articles on that.
Hamas turned down the thing.
Let me read some more comments. It says, it's BS. He wants to push them into Egypt. He can take the rest of the land. Another one, it says, he's tormenting them, not evacuating them. One more, it says, he can't even say how many Hamas they've got because that's not what they're after. Yeah, the Egypt part of this is like, I get it because it related to like British colonialism and how Egypt is not what they appear to be in a lot of ways. But it's still kind of surprising to me on the take that Egypt has in this situation.
Here's what I'm trying to say, or I think is going to happen with all of this. And everyone says I'm crazy and don't know what I'm talking about. But Israel's going to get rid of Hamas. There is no, this is not going to happen. And then they're going to pull back, and then they're going to start helping the Palestinian people to rebuild.
Yeah, I think that's naive.
I do not think that's naive.
I don't think that they will be able to eradicate Hamas. I think that they're creating more Hamas every day. So I don't see how that is going to be the case. And I also think it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with the rubber band getting stretched. The way this has played out is going to cause a massive snapback as a result. And I was saying in the other show, I don't think you was here, but I think that this could end up leading to an actual Palestinian state after this is over.
Yes. That is the whole idea. That is the whole idea. But the problem is Palestine voted Hamas in, and then Hamas, all the relief effort, well, again, this is another one like the Russia thing. You keep accusing me of spouting the standard and stuff like that. And I do understand both sides of what's going on and why, a lot more than my language seems to be. But ultimately, when you listen to both sides, you read what they're saying, you try to understand it. If Hamas were to lay down their arms, or to have laid down their arms when they were given the chance, there would have been a chance at a two-piece state already. If Israel were to lay down their arms, there would be no Israel state. Hamas would not stop until they were gone.
Well, I just don't see that because
you won't read the Hamas charter.
Yeah, but they could be saying that, but what power would they have to actually make that happen? Like, they don't have the power to eradicate Israel.
October 7th, 600 rockets a day going over into the Israeli side. I mean, you got to understand, there's both sides to this, and you're really digging hard into the left, just saying Israel is wrong. I'm not saying either side is right in this, but I'm saying real simple that one side wants to end this one way or the other. The other wants to end this only in one way.
And the Israel has state of the art equipment. They got state of the art military. They got, like, you know, Hamas has homemade
have
rockets.
not been using them to full effect because of civilians, because of the extra damage it would cause. They could have blown these suckers out. They could have flattened that everything, but they don't. They give them time. They tell you, hey, we're going to be coming in here starting at this time or whatever. I mean,
They
like
have.
I said, I'm not supporting them and stuff like that, but I'm like, what are people not paying attention to? That the only way this ends is Hamas in that area are hunted down. This is like the only way this ends is Russia decides what happens in that region. This is not a world
Did you hear
decision.
this?
This is not a soapbox bandwagon situation. This is a how can we're telling Israel how they should, we're telling Palestine, oh, you're in a genocide, you can only act this way. Well, the other hand, on the other side of it is the same thing is the goal of the other side of this fight. This is a to the end kind of situation. And yeah, Hamas may not pop out in the future, but there's going to be another organization or another, because Hamas is a fall down from the PLO, which is a fall down from the other. And the PLO and Hamas have one thing in common. Even the other countries around them don't want them there because of their jihad stance against Israel. They are the Palestinian people are in a fuck situation, and it's horrible. But it is Hamas that is the problem. And I hate to see civilian casualties. I hate to see them caught in the middle and all this stuff and things like that. It is horrible. But it was very simply stated, this cannot be. And what happened on October 7th was crossing the line. And that was what broke the camel's back right there. When you're watching women being driven around on trucks and things like that. I mean, again, you've got the old mainstream look and things like that. Like I said, we don't have any business telling either side which is wrong or right.
Let me read
and like I say, I'm always going to go back to if one side puts down their weapons, it's over. If the other side puts down their weapons, it's not over until they're dead. So
they don't even have the capabilities to do that. Let me read some.
It doesn't matter. Look at what happened on October 7th. That is the place of life forever. Attacks like that. Hamas, instead of letting the people have running water and electricity, used the copper and the pipes to create rockets and bombs and shit like that instead of for their people. And then they went and attacked like that. I mean, there's reasons for what's going on. Now, the extent of what's going on, is it horrifying? Fuck yes. It is absolutely horrifying what's going on. But again, we cannot dictate to another person how they should conduct themselves during a genocide.
Let me read a couple more. I'm gonna move on. It says, leave to where it would help if Egypt welcomed them. Another one that says, like he's kept them safe before, all 17,000. Investigate both sides of the argument, come up with your own conclusions. Ahead of them. Another one that says, this man has zero credibility.
Kid has 4 generations of family that went to Yale. His aunt, grandpa, grandma, and 2 of his uncles. Why don't we guess what universities he got into? But first,